Welcome back to TheChowTimePod. It's your host, Red. I got a video today from Scotty's side. This is a video from one of our own. Please like, comment, subscribe down below. I really appreciate that. Let's get that chow. It's chow time. Shout out to Scotty. He watches a lot of my content and most of us in this sphere, and now he made his own video on it. So let's check it out.
Hey, welcome to Scotty's side. Thank you for joining me today. Today I'm going to talk about why at 40 years old I never have and never will be married. Now, I'm putting the stats aside for this video, okay? This is going to be...
I do admit, in this space, we talk about stats a lot. So let's see what the nuances and anecdotal experiences are.
all anecdotal, my own personal experiences and stories. And I think I've talked about them like live on stream or something like that. But I'm going to make like a video talking about this experience. And so I knew from a very young age, probably around 9 or 10, that I didn't want to get married, and also that I didn't want to have kids.
Yeah.
And in
Pretty young.
that 30 years, that mindset has not changed one bit. Now, I'm not saying that marriage is impossible. I've seen some work out, obviously. I'm sure most of you have. And how I've seen them work is when the woman is essentially head over heels for a guy. That, like, this is the baddest motherfucker I can find and probably ever will find. Alpha widowing, if you want to call it that. Basically, she has to think you're the shit for your whole life.
I can actually somewhat agree with this. If you are the person that she really truly thinks that is the best that she can do and she can pull, she will act right, right? But most women don't feel that way about most men, and very few men can garner that kind of attention from a woman. It requires a good amount of everything: charm, charisma, leadership skills, money. It probably doesn't require too much money, but it requires a decent amount of money. You don't probably have to be some millionaire, but you have to be decently well off.
That's the only time I've seen it work. The only time I've ever seen it work is when she figuratively looks up, and I guess physically too, looks up to the guy. Anyway.
Yeah, story time. I think this is the dynamic of my best friend, Chris. He works for Google, and but in my opinion, his partner, fiance, believes that of him. He's a good-looking guy. He's like 5'11", almost 6 foot, light-skinned, black guy. She's a white woman, and the way they interact with each other, it seems like she is almost head over heels for this gentleman. And I always tell him, like, she loves you, bro. Like, you got a good one. There's very few women out there that I've seen that act the way she does with him, and just the way she just lets him do whatever. Like, not whatever, but let him lead, and she just follows gracefully.
Even from that young age, people around me were getting divorced. People that said they loved each other so much, and blah, blah, blah-de-dee, blah, blah. I'm sure a lot of you have heard that shit too.
This is like the crazy thing about me and Scott. We're like quite opposites. When I grew up, I always wanted kids. I knew I wanted kids because I grew up with such a big family. I hung out with my cousins all the time. Each of my aunts all had 2 to 3 kids. My dad had 3 kids. So it was just a smorgasbord of kids and love and affection from all of my aunts and like my older cousins and things like that. So I wanted kids. I wanted what my family has, a big, nice family, or contribute to my big, nice family with my own family. And I did not see divorce around me. I did not see a lot of these things because all of my family members kept together. The only people that aren't together are my aunts that are widows. Like I have like three of my aunts now are widows because their husbands died and they never remarried. They stayed widows this whole time and they're 70 now. Like my second aunt is like almost 80. I think she is actually 80. My third aunt's a widow. She's been a widow for 30 plus years. She's like 75 now. And then my fourth aunt, my uncle just passed a couple of months ago, the one I was speaking about. And they plan on staying widows. I never saw the horribleness of divorce when I was growing up until I actually grew up like past 18 when I experienced life myself.
Maybe it's even been said to you by a previous girlfriend, wife,
That L word,
etc.
yeah.
I had seen that, and I believe the first one I really saw personally was my uncle, and just how hard and fast he fell for a woman, and which was partially that's on him too.
Of course.
You know, you can't fall that head over heels that fast and the bitch is gonna think highly of you. It's just not gonna happen. You know, I knew she, even at that young age, from an instinctual gut thing, that you can't act like that. You can't be that. You gotta.
Kids are observant. Scott said he was 9 when he saw this and he fucking felt and understood these things. Kids absorb all of these things. It's crazy how much kids can learn by just observing and just seeing what's going on and not even saying shit.
Be the guy. You gotta be the man.
It's a good thing and a bad thing.
So I saw that, I saw my one of my other uncles, he got divorced. My aunt got divorced. And then one of my other uncles, he was widowed, so that's a totally different thing. But then, he got married again like real fast, and it wasn't the same. That relationship wasn't the same because he just couldn't be alone, I guess. And look, I understand it's tough, especially if you're widowed. I should say I understand because I've never been in that situation. Yeah, that'd be really tough. But you can see that I was experiencing all this divorce around me from a very young age, and so it made me really question everything, and made me go, maybe this isn't such a good idea. And I also had friends where their parents were divorced, and there was like a stepdad, a stepmom, whatever, in the situation. I even had a few kids say to me, "Wow, your parents are still together?" And this was back in like early 90s and shit like that this was going on.
Damn, Scott, you lived in a very prevalent divorced area. I grew up in LA, which I would assume is pretty prevalent in the divorce area also, but I actually didn't see that much around when I was growing up as a kid. Maybe just because I wasn't that close with my friends in elementary school and stuff to where I knew about their parents and their dynamics. Nor was I smart enough to even like know about that stuff. I was just about video games and shit like that when I was that young. So I wasn't that observant.
So it's just all of this personal experience and what I'm seeing, literally what I'm seeing. Family members, friends of friends. Just hearing my parents and friends talk about it to each other.
Okay, I'm wrong now that I actually do think about I did hear my friends talk about, oh, I don't have my dad. And I always wondered, what? What's wrong with your dad? It's like my dad's busy, but he's here. I didn't understand it until I met quite a bit of my, I hate to say it, like my black friends. When I was growing up, a lot of my black friends were raised by single mothers. And I didn't understand why their father wasn't in the house because, again, my dynamic of my family and all of my family and what I've seen my whole life, everybody was always together. So it was weird growing up after I met a lot of my friends that, yeah, they didn't have fathers in the homes or they didn't have both parents. And but I kind of like envied them just the way they had freedom, right? Like, because I was stupid kids, right? Because I was so not sheltered, but like I had a lot of responsibilities as a kid. I took care of my siblings. I did the laundry. I cooked. I helped clean. I went to the donut shop to help work and stuff. So I saw that and I saw my friends with single mothers like got to do pretty much whatever they wanted. And I was just like, man, I wish I had that. Why do I always have to go to work? Why do I always have to take care of my siblings and all these things? I never get to go out. My parents didn't even let me go out like in front of the yard or in front of the apartments because they were scared I was going to get kidnapped. That was a big thing in the 90s, like kids getting kidnapped. So
It was all over the place. And this was 30 years ago, man. I can't imagine what it is now. It's obviously worse if you look at the stats.
yep.
And I know before all the femoids and tards come into my comment section saying that all of us MGTOW guys are all incels and everything like that. No. This kind of stuff that we all experienced in some form or fashion, it was just what I was seeing around me. A lot of guys have experienced first fucking hand and still feel it today because their divorces fuck them up, fuck them over. I don't think it's any wonder what's going on today, why no one's getting married. And this kind of thing, first-hand, second-hand experience, is what's causing this. It's not safe or wise for a guy to get married. Even to the point of
Not in the States, at least, right? This is what we talk about. The laws, everything.
living with a girlfriend.
Well, certain states, yeah. Like
Because there's still a
law.
risk of some shit that she's going to pull and say that you were abusive and blah, blah, blah. I've seen that firsthand, too. Guys getting accused of shit, finding out later that it wasn't true. So, that's why I never will and never have. No way, pal, will I get married. So, let me know your experiences. I want to hear them in the comments. Anything about not being married and divorced, just having a girlfriend and having some kind of rough experience with that. I really want to hear about it. I want your take in the comments below, please.
No, I'm with you, Scott. Like, it's so hard. Like, as much as I promote families and kids and, I want to promote marriage itself, but I can't. That I cannot promote. I want to promote families and kids, but I can't promote the establishment of marriage just because it's made to fuck men over so badly in the West. Even my own relationship, my girlfriend now, I want to even discuss with her, do we have to get married? Can we just stay this way? But I live in California, so if we were to move together and live together, common law marriage would take over also. So I'm just what should I do? In a sense, if I really want to, commit with my girl for a long time, I don't want that state involved in everything. Please like, comment, subscribe down below. I really appreciate that. And I'll catch you guys next time. Ciao.